And we are live on YouTube. I am approaching today's session with a completely open mind. Completely open mind. I don't know what's going to happen. They could rocket it, they could dump it, they could pin it. I don't know. The Rasky red, we had red into the power hour, so I'm expecting kind of a red rollover here, even though we got a small red move into the bell. So far, it's just chilling. It's just chilling. Right now we have call selling, put buying, kind of. Bum, 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 bum. Come on, let me get that back to the stream here. I'm trying to get to the live stream, but on YouTube, but. Top wicking on NASDAQ. Let's see how much of this they can roll over. Red rover. How much can you roll over? And I'm going to smoke the crap out of it. 25,867. What's up, K-Soda? How you doing? Jonathan Anthony? All right, so we have this pre-market high of 7,006. We have the low of 69.82. So that needs to be your pivots right here. There are your pivots. NASDAQ, beautiful top wick, extraordinary. There are your pivots. It's already taken out the pre-market high, so you could reduce that if you want. Yesterday's lows, of course, pre-market lows are right there on NASDAQ. So we have a pretty wide range to deal with in the event they start going down. A lot of movement here. There's a lot of, I guess, potential energy. If anyone who's in my science majors, potential energy who could turn into kinetic energy. Hopefully it does turn kinetic. That would be great. Patience won the game from yesterday. Nice, Dan. Yeah, I saw you caught that move. Thanks for the friends reference. You're welcome, Forsna. So far, NASDAQ is not claiming higher prices. IV is about 8% lower than yesterday morning. Took another top step payout yesterday. After I milk these accounts, I'll likely move over to another firm. I noticed they quietly increased withdrawal fees again. Uh-oh. Ain't no good. Ain't no good. All right, another top wick on NASDAQ rolling back over. I've gotten mixed answers on how much money I can pull out when they finally do pull me live on this Top Step account. So I don't know what to think. Literally, I just went into the Top Step Discord and they gave me even a different answer. So who knows? I'm just going to roll with it, and whatever I pull out, I pull out. All right, there's a nice sweeping top wick right there, 25,900. Rasky red once again leads us in the right direction. Beautiful stuff. ES. Top wicking, although they're dojied out more likely. Silver is still kind of rolling over here. Silver is down 4%. They have now taken out not only yesterday's lows, and they're gunning for yesterday's pre-market lows. Beautiful bounce played this morning on that. Charging a $30 fee to withdraw. I'm telling you, man, they must have got wrecked. They must be hurting. NASDAQ 25,845 and rolling here. You guys have been around a while. Love the volume education, by the way. It's helped. Oh, nice case. So yeah, we have been around for a while. 2021 we started up. We're still live and kicking, baby. We're going on 5 years. In 2 months it'll be 5 years, 5 años, since we've been hanging out every day together. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, we just had a big spike in put buying, 354 million puts. NASDAQ is still chilling, dojied out. Like I said, today might be a premium seller's day. It's OPEX. Let's go take a look at the trace. Let's see what we got on the trace. Everything is kind of centered around 69.65 at the moment on SPX. Ay caramba. Ay caramba. VIX is dipping. If GME taught me anything, it's the biggest players won't go down without a fight. Should be no different with silver. Question is when. We had an interesting conversation last night in the Discord channel here about silver, and apparently there's some some weird stuff going on. Sorry about that. There's the TV link. There's some weird stuff going on in the silver world, of course, which I'm very interested about. Nasdaq still bottom wicking, of course. Let's see what we're going to do here. There's 7,000 on ES. Still kind of chilling. Nasdaq is going up as well. Nasdaq can't really get over 873 yet, but they are making a run for it here. So 873, if they claim that, we're just going to continue to just kind of climb. Otherwise, they're just kind of whipsawing back and forth. We keep having these expansion and contraction candles on the 1 minute here. You see the obvious pivot at 873, and that was like the prior pre-market level there. Very boring open. Very boring open. $863. Nice little top wick again. Oh, man. All right, well, I guess this is what we're going to do for OPEX. I know yesterday was a big mover of a day. So, OPEX I'm either looking for the day before, the day of. If it happens yesterday, it may not happen today. So I heard it's because lots of banks are very short positions. Yeah, that's what we heard too. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Silver bounces. Well, look at that, man. Silver just rocketed again. So yeah, we were talking about the long position here on silver in the Discord, of course, and it played out beautifully. Had to be very patient with it, and now we big blast off. I'm not a part of this little bounce here though. The only trades I'm putting on Top Step right now, I'm considering opening additional evals, but I don't know. I don't know about Top Step. I'll let you know what happens here in a few weeks, but my goal is just to make up the money I pull out for every week. That's it. Used to be in your Discord for a couple of years, but I left maybe 1 to 2 years ago. Glad to see you're still doing good with the trading and streaming. You taught me all the fundamentals. Nice, Josh. I appreciate you, buddy. I'd love to see you back in there, but I appreciate you being here in the YouTube and hanging out with us. Good to see you back. Nasdaq is rocking and a rolling here, baby. Rocking and a rolling. Bottom wick Nasdaq. I have no active trades at the moment. Does the TPT have an account limit? Not that I've found. You can only have 5 fundeds, but I don't know about evals. Right now, I haven't hit the limit if they do have one. Look at that. That 873 is no bueno for the longs. Can you explain what happens during OPEX, like generally? Yeah. So OPEX is short for options expiration. That is a monthly expiration where the monthly contracts on the S&P expire. Now, normally, it's not always a set in stone where, it rockets or sells off, or, it's a hit or miss. However, it's just really about the positioning of the option chain. Right now, most of the options are hanging out about 7,000. Now, the different scenario about this options expiration as opposed to last is that there's not really an obvious in the money position. Usually, we're dealing with call legs that are deeply in the money, and we're looking for some profit taking or a close out, and it changes up the overall expiration. But today, it's the market's been so flat for so long that there's not an obvious move for OPEX. So TPT rocks. You go live and you make all the money you can doing it weekly. Yeah, TPT is extraordinary. I'm telling you, man. I've made a bunch of money on Top Step and TPT. TPT is by far the best. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. By far the best. Not even close. Not to beat a dead horse, but you got me digging into this live account with Top Step. Can I pull out 50% after 5 days of profit or 30 winning days and you pull out the whole thing? I'll be honest with you, Brady. I have no idea. I've read what you read right there. I have asked the question on customer, like the little chatbot customer service, and talked to them, the real live person. And I've asked the question in the Top Step Discord. And I've posted questions on Twitter, and I can't get a straight answer. Every single answer I get is different. The chatbot on TopStep told me that I can't pull out anything off of the Express account. The only money I pull out of the live is what I make in the live. Some people have told me the day I turn live I could pull out half of it, which is what it used to be. That's what I've done before. Which is what I thought. Some people have told me I could pull out every dime Express and live after 30 days in the live. So I don't know. I'm just going to roll with it and see what happens. I mean, I'm going to make money regardless. You think that other prop firms would follow TPT's model? You would think. You would think. All right, NASDAQ is rocking and rolling here. I have no volume here. So until I'm not buying any dips here until I see volume, of course. We're going to just kind of keep things. We're going to kind of keep things a little bit tight. Nice Mike's deals. Let's go take a look at the S&P. S&P's doing the same thing. We have an extraordinary amount of put buying, 609 million, 633 million puts purchased, 140 million calls sold. So the option chain is bearish. Silver is flagging up to 89.29. Beautiful, beautiful bounce. I call that my Dante bounce. My Dante's bounce. $25,836 and still dropping. Beautiful stuff. Still going. I love it. Is that the 50? Nice. So we have a couple of pivots here. You see minor pivots. These are minor pivots. And the overall support is down here at 694. Still can't catch a bid, of course. The buyers are just faltering the past couple of days. And we've had Linda Rasky red here. Right here. Oh, man. Have you ever backtested or traded using VPA principles and its relationship with VWAP? Not necessarily backtested. Not for anything specific. You know, I have over the years just, basically dropped off all moving averages. I used to use them, especially for long-term trades. I don't do much swing trading anymore. Not in this market, of course. So all the value I had with EMAs and stuff like that was really centered on swing trading, and I just don't do much of it anymore. So if I ever start that again, I might incorporate some long dated moving average simply for pattern analysis, but that's it. But in terms of VWAP, I just don't use it. It doesn't give me a lot of value. So I guess the short answer to that would be no. After you request payout with TPT, how long do they freeze your account until the funds are withdrawn? They don't freeze your account. You can trade it. It's just you've got to be careful not to lose the profits that you've requested on the account. So they don't freeze it. And it takes, anywhere I've had them approve the funds almost instantaneously, and I've had them, take up to a day to approve the funds. So it's not necessarily set in stone, but it's pretty quick. All right, NASDAQ getting blasted here. Look at the puts. 900 million put buying. Look at this. Option chain is very, very, very bearish. Very, very bearish. There you go. You're welcome. Beautiful little top wick here. We're going to see how far it's going to go so far. I got you maple syrup and arrived today. Dude, you tell me I can have some authentic Canadian maple syrup? I would love it. Hey, volume, 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 volume. Volume. Gotcha. What are we doing, baby? Just froze. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I think I'm back. I just had a little lag there. All right. So all I'm looking for here is a volume spike. All I'm looking for is a volume spike. Big green on the S&P. Nasdaq is still chilling, but I think we're going to get a move on Nasdaq here after that volume. Of course, we want the 3C confirmation for a bounce, and if it does it, of course, we'll play 50% range, and then we're going to move up. But that was a little bit of volume spike there. There's 25,829. Where's 50% of this range? Right there at 850. Small amount of volume here. Of course, they need to claim a higher high. You need about 841. We're talking about a pretty tight range here. And the buyers can't get that flow through here. So you got to be very careful, just kind of popping into stuff erroneously. We still have 750 million worth of puts, and they sold off about 300 million there, and they bought about 500 or 600 million worth of calls. So they did hammer the calls on that, but so far there's no follow through. 826, 828. There we go. Nasdaq is crashing back down. No higher high yet. Silver, what's silver doing? Silver is just a going. I told you it was going to bounce. Nasdaq keeps on trying to bottom wick here, but it just keeps flowing through. If it takes out 813, I'd look for 795, and then 795 will go even further. So the buyers have got their work cut out for them. There's a nice hammer on Nas. Can't go any higher. Silver, beautiful stuff, man. Absolutely beautiful. Silver's a beast. Silver's an absolute unit. Silver's like Jerome Bettis from the Steelers back in the 90s and 2000s. All right, Nasdaq is creeping down, baby. Can't get a higher high, so guess what? No long entry. No long John Silver, baby. No long John Silver. How you doing? Maybe we get a 30-minute dump and then a spike. That'd be nice. OM Silver is 99 baseball. Dude, 99 baseball was the best. Can't beat it. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. Just everybody just yoking the baseballs out of the stadium. It's great. Yeet. Another big old bottom wick on the Nasdaq. Another one. Bum, bum, bum. What is the option flow system you're using? I am using what's called HIRO, H-I-R-O. It's from Spot Gamma. Can I do advanced option strategy with TPT? Negative. There's no options on TPT. It's only futures. In fact, I don't know of a retail prop firm that offers options. You could do professional prop firms, but you have to apply, interview, and get accepted if you're going to be a professional trader like that. Nasdaq still creeping down. This is the importance of the 3 Cs. You look at the 5-minute, not a single higher high. Not to mention, in addition to the 3 Cs, training your eye to identify a bullish, bouncy type price action or a sell-off type price action. Right now, this doesn't look bouncy. This is not bouncy price action. So there are times where I will front run volume spikes. There's times I won't. Right now, this doesn't look bouncy yet. Everything is just kind of flowing down. Every green candle is top wicked. I want to see every red is bottom wicked. That's not what I'm seeing yet. I have one bottom wick right now to really play with. So let it just slide, 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 and then if we get that little price action, I'll show you the difference. This looks bouncy. When you see this price action here kind of start to level out at the bottom, see how the price action goes from large red candles here, and then all of a sudden all the candles start to show bottom wicky and closey? This shows buyers are hitting right here. See that? See how the difference in how these candles look and how these candles look? They're both downtrend candles, but this one is very wicky. Can't see my screen? My bad. I thought you could. Why not? You can't see my screen? It's right here. Yeah, so there's difference in price action here. This looks supportive. This doesn't look supportive here because there's a lot more large in candles. Not to mention, where does the volume start to hit? You know, we have the sort of bottom sweeping wicks. And, of course, this is the beautiful bullish action right there. So, you know, learn to train your eye for price action that looks bearish versus bullish, in addition, of course, to a systematic approach like the 3 C's, but that requires experience. NASDAQ is coming off here, still sliding 25,806. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. There's all short positions here. 1 billion in puts purchased. 1 billion. Now we do not have any big news today. We have no big news today. NASDAQ is getting wrecked, 25,802. There's a nice little bounce on NASDAQ. Small. Do we get a bounce at the top of the hour, or do we have a nice little downtrend all day today so far? Beautiful stuff. What's silver doing? Silver's rocking and rolling here. I'm not paying attention to silver. A lot of my silver success comes in the afternoon, oddly enough, overnight and in the afternoon. The morning hasn't shown the same results. NASDAQ is still just kind of drilling at the bottom. Still red engulfing candles all over the place here. We are into these minor pivots. We're not even close to the overnight low, but we have a couple of minor pivots that we are smoking right here, smoking a pancake into 800. We have a very, very minor volume spike as we hit it, but very large engulfing red, can't bottom wicket. And if they fail this, then we are going down to overnight levels. So the buyers must defend. $50 names, iron pen. Mr. Matlock can't offend. There we go, 800. Small green, no higher highs yet. Very minor bottom wick, very minor volume spike. So far, it's still all bear trends. Tremendous amount of put buying, 1.2 billion puts, 184. Now they are slowly creeping into calls, but very lightly. But it's all setting on the puts. It's all setting on the puts, and the buyers cannot put on more than one single little wick of green action here. So you definitely don't want to go chasing the BTD here until it gives you a higher high. There's a nice little flow. Volume's coming in. Still going. 781. Still going down. Getting wrecked. Bottom wick there. There we go. Looks quite bearish. It does. Very, very bearish here. It's still sliding. There's no long activity here. All bearish. All bearish. All the way down, baby. Rashke never disappoints, baby. Never disappoints. All the way down. Look at this. They are just rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling. We're down about 120 points or so from the open. And we're just selling. We're just selling. The sellers are absolutely killing it, man. Look at this. This is beautiful. Absolutely killing it. All the way down. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. $7.47 is the next wick. 7.47 is the next wick. There we go. 7.52, still going. 2 billion in puts. They are absolutely killing this. Absolutely killing this. It's beautiful. Is Trump talking at 10 a.m.? I have no idea. Probably. Probably. There we go. 7.47, still going. Absolute liquidation here. 7.53. Obviously, there's no bounce to be had. Don't even consider it unless you have a very strong 3C. 7.50 right here. After this, next on deck is 6.92. 6.92. Some of the most bearish price action now we've had in weeks in terms of just flow and follow through. So you definitely do. It's OPEX, man. That's what you have to have in your mind here is OPEX. We're not going to get the normal, quick moves like we had normal days. So when they pick a direction like this, you need to demand 3Cs. Another top wick again. Now we're getting ready to flow again. 2.1 billion puts. Let me look at this. They're not selling calls, but man, they are absolutely pounding the puts. Look at this. Look at this. Incredibly bearish price action. If they fail this, we'll go down another 100 points. I would say 60 points. They'll grab the overnight low. Just rocking and a rolling, baby. Just a rocking and a rolling. Amazing stuff, amazing stuff, amazing stuff. Fail it, and we'll have another 60 points. There we go. Fail it, and we'll have it. There we go. Now daddy's eating. Yesterday's red roll was a sign. Distribution thesis remains. It does. Distribution thesis. So the distribution thesis has remained on NASDAQ. ES was a little bit harder to defend distribution thesis. NASDAQ was a lot more clear. I'm going to take a payout, baby. That's right, math. Watch. Now we're going 694. Look at this. Now we're going 694. Do not buy this dip at all unless you get a 3C. This is NASDAQ, yes. This is the type of price action I've been waiting for on NASDAQ. That's why I've been focusing so much on silver. Because this baby is just going. Done for the day. You all take care. Nice, Chris. You too, buddy. You too. After I blew up the competition account. Hey, man. You still take a payout, so don't sweat it. You'll get another chance. In fact, I think Monday is when we're going to start the next competition. Start the signups for the next competition. Bum 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 bum. All right, so what are we doing here? This is selling all the way off, and it's fantastic. What do you think is going to happen when we hit 25,675 if we don't bounce before then? We're going to have a scalpable bounce off of it. We will have a scalpable bounce off 875 if we don't bounce before then. So If you're not already short, in my opinion, right now, just chill. Don't go chasing this. Even if I'm excited, don't go chasing it. Just wait for the price action to come down, tap 675, and you're going to have a quick scalpable bounce. And then, if that fails, you can re-enter a short position, but don't try chasing the short here after an extended move. And it's not necessarily about this particular move, it's about remaining consistent. Still coming off here, large red candles, baby. I love to see it. I love to see it. It's still going. Still going. Look at the put buying. 2.7 billion puts purchased. I can almost guarantee you they are going to put on a face-ripping bounce into the afternoon with this. I can almost guarantee it. Into the afternoon, not this morning. Into the afternoon. Don't go hearing what I'm not saying. Nice side gig, Guru. Beautiful. Still going, baby. Still going. Ready to get face ripped. Nice fill. There we go. Bottom wick so far, but still holding. Not a lot of good stuff here. Remaining patient. Remaining ready to get face ripped. Yeah, it's going to do it. But still going. Very bearish here. Not bullish at all. We don't have any 3Cs. Look at the volume on 5 minute. We have volume spike came in here, but so far the wicks are very weak and there's no higher high. We don't even have a higher high than 1 minute. We don't even have a higher high than 1 minute yet, so certainly nothing. I exited my gold monthly calls I took last week for 50%. The resistance up here is starting to look like distribution. Probably a pullback. You're talking about distribution on gold? Yeah, I'd have to look at it, but I'm sure we're going to have a decent profit-taking event here shortly and then recovery. I mean, it happen to gold, it'll happen to silver too. Now I just need to hold my account for 20 days for 3 more payouts. To go live on TS, nice. The way things are going with silver, I want to put way outside the money longs 3 months out. Just want to be in the game if it squeezes overnight. It's not a bad idea to do that on a pullback. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen. This thing could just keep on squeezing for a week or a month or whatever, but whatever. Gold definitely looks accumulating above highs. Nice. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Nasdaq bouncing back up. Gold's been eating up this liquidity block. Yeah, it has. All right, so there's one bounce on the Nasdaq. Still can break it. Caught 120 points on 1 MNQs. Feels so much better to size down. Yep. I love to hear it, baby. Opening gap, regular trading hours to the tick. What do you mean? You're talking about the opening price. Oh, I see what you're saying here. Yeah. What is that? 720.5? Yeah. I was a little bit lower at the overnight low. Nice B Mason. Have a good day, buddy. Have a great day. May the gains be with you, Andrew. Good stuff. I could be talking to myself with that too. Buying copper in 2026 is like buying Bitcoin in 2009. Anyone have a bullish copper stance? Any reason to believe copper is going to do the same thing silver does? Remember, they have not been selling calls today. They've only been buying calls, in addition to buying up a crap ton of puts. So, like I said, this is kind of setup has the look of the OPEX dump and then rocket and recovery every dime of it. So I'm very curious, muy curious, what they're going to do here to the afternoon. This is this reeks of OPEX shenanigans. Yeah, buddy. I love that meme, that GIF, whatever you call it. Is it used to make bullets? There's some copper in bullet production, but not much. It's of course you have the alloys and then the lead. There we go, a little bit more green. Can't make a scene if you don't have the green, baby. Muchas gracias. Well, there you go. A little bit of a bounce there. There's about 700 ounces of copper mined for every 1 ounce of copper of 1 ounce of silver annually. Nice. Full Metal Jacket is a copper tip, correct? The full metals are, yeah. See the NY opening, nice. Yeah, if you're driving a Vail in Colorado down I-70, I mean it's all like silver mines, gold and silver mines all the way through there. Of course, they're now defunct. But yeah. Electrical equipment for the copper. There you go. I kept all the copper from the scraps from building my house. I still have all the copper scrap hidden away in a secret location. Bum 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 bum. All right, so what are we looking for here? We have a volume spike at Doji, and then this claim over the higher of 25,271. So if we have the close here over 750, we'll have a 3C. And you can get up there. I mean, heck, you could even play the 731. Would work too. This is why I said don't go shorting this right now. If you're not already short, don't go shorting in this area because you're risking a bounce into supportive levels such as overnight lows. So you just got, that's the low-hanging fruit stuff. $760. Has TopStep had me on their YouTube live? Negative. And honestly, I wouldn't go on there if they asked me to. You know what's funny? I've had a lot of crazy success on TopStep. I've had, $50,000 days. Right now what I'm doing, I've ran up a huge balance. Back in the past, I've had, multiple $30,000. I've had very good success with TopStep. The only time they've ever featured me on their YouTube, one time, not live. They kind of like they analyze my account. The one single time they analyzed my account is when I blew up one of my fundeds one day. And it was, it's crazy. So screw them. They can bite me. They can bite me. They're a bunch of trolls is what they are. That's why I'm going to take every dime they got. I'm going to take every dime they got. $1 billion calls purchased. Well, 788. I'm sorry, 788 million calls purchased. So you see this right here? This is a recipe for volatility. I do think they're going to put on a serious bounce into the afternoon. Look at this. 800 million calls. They're just pounding the calls here. Meanwhile, they bought a tremendous amount of puts. 2 billion in puts. It is pretty funny, though, right? Yeah, he got you. Trump speaking today at 10 minutes? I didn't know that. All right. Nice. Can you have him put the bounce on now? I'd like that, but I need, right now we do have a 3C on the NASDAQ. We do have it. It doesn't look all that convincing, but it's there. It's there. Silver's creeping up again. NASDAQ putting on a bounce. Boom, 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 boom. I requested almost 5 Gs from TPT today. It's good stuff. $4,700. It's beautiful. TPT is the best. The best. 777 million calls purchased. ES is bouncing back up nicely. Silver is still kind of trending here. I'm not touching silver again until I have high volume spike. We already played the pre-market bounce there. NASDAQ is 25,740. And we're just back and forth. Took a successful trader and only talked about one loss. Yeah. Exactly. It's like when you bring home all your report card when you were a kid and you had all A's and 1 D, and your dad focuses on the D. It's like, dude, I've got like 5 A's. Yeah, I don't have any daddy issues. 676 million of call purchases here. You got all C's? Nice. Look at us now, Phil. Look at us now. All right, red's coming off here, 735. That's what I've been told. That's what I've been told, Dr. Phil. You activated my PTSD report cards. Doesn't seem like a too confident spot for a bounce. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look all that convincing. But the 3 Cs are there. Silver's still going. Will financials drop with the 10% cap on credit card debt, do I think? I think they will. I mean, that's the logical, the deduction, actually, but we'll see. Oh, man. I'll be surprised if I'll be surprised if Trump survives until the end of his term. He's ruffling a lot of feathers. You start messing with the banks and interest. He's going for interest and taxes. You better be careful. Better be careful. A little bit more red. We're at December's opening price. Look at the daily chart on both ES and NASDAQ. It looks distributive still. NASDAQ, of course, looks a little bit worse than the S&P. But look at all this price action. This is some of the most disgusting price action I've seen since that big long time we held flat for 2 months. So this is pretty terrible. NASDAQ cannot go any higher. We have a major rotation out of tech into the small caps. If you look at RTY, small caps have been absolutely going bonkers here. And that is a red flag of sorts. And then, of course, NASDAQ's been doing this. Absolutely terrible. NASDAQ about to take out new lows and dropping. What's the next target if they take this area out? Let's take a look. NASDAQ take this area out. We're going to go to yesterday's lows at 675. If they take that out, we'll be going down to 554. If they take that out, 417. So those are your targets just legging down. Can you explain what those two lines are on Spot Gamma? Yes, I do have a video, by the way, YouTube video, about Spot Gamma's Hero tool. I encourage you to go take a look at it. And the other videos, by the way, that I offer on YouTube. But this is called Spot Gamma's Hero, H-I-R-O. It shows options flow on either 0 DTE or collectively all of the S&P options. This is showing only 0 DTE. Right now we have 570 million of calls purchased, which is the green line. When the green line goes up, it's showing call buying. When the green line goes down, it's showing call selling. Blue line is puts. When the blue line goes down, it's showing put buying. When the blue line goes up, showing put selling. Right now, we're seeing both call buying and put buying. We don't see this very often. This is kind of a rarity here to see such aggressive call buying and aggressive put buying. So it kind of, today being OPEX and seeing the shenanigans that I've seen on OPEX before, I could very well see tanking this thing continuously in the morning. And then sometime around lunch, they put on a bottom. And then in the afternoon, they buy up every penny of it. I've seen that happen before. That's just a guess, but I could see it happen with the style of price action. Right now, it's all bearish, baby. They're just rocking and rolling to the downside. There we go. New low about to be put in on NASDAQ. S&P is a little bit top wiki. Silver's kind of chilling. Good question, Hyperscalp. Hi, caramba. Hi, caramba. Looks like Twitter's down. I can't get anything to load on X. Yeah, we go. New low of the day for NASDAQ, baby. New low of the day for NASDAQ. I think we're about to see... You're welcome, Hyperscalp. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Do I still use Bookmap? Yes, I do. Every day. I have Bookmap on my laptop right now because I kept getting blue screens. It was overclocking my RAM. My RAM got rammed. So until I get more RAMs, I have to just put it on my laptop for now. It got jammed. Lone Star. Car ramrod, yeah. How many RAMs do I have on my PC? I think I have 64 RAMs. Not entirely sure though, but 64 gigarams. Gigaties. All right, NASDAQ is rolling over 700 here. We're about to take out yesterday's lows. Incredible, incredible downtrend, baby, all the way down. All the way down. As per my friend in hedge fund, you have a friend in a hedge fund? Dude, why do I not know this? As per last year's January OPEX, heavy price action will happen around European close. Expect price action heavy and reverse around that time. Yeah, buddy. I love to see it. Look, this thing is absolutely rocking and a rolling. Fan-freaking-tastic this is. Look at this. Plowing. Plowing. Here's yesterday's lows. Right here. Right here. Amazing stuff. Still going. Do we get a volume spike? We have a little volume there, but man, that is a freight train. You don't want to jump in front of that, baby. Look at that, 670. They're going to put on an engulfing. Look at this. Wow. What a freaking day. What a day, man. Do you know how, especially those who are not necessarily in the distribution category, such as us, do you know what kind of this style of price action does to people? We're lucky enough to have VPA, and we're looking for distribution on the daily. A lot of people aren't. They're still in 2021 mode, looking for 7,500 on the S&P. These type of days wreck them. And we all know what Ice-T said about, or Ice Cube, Ice-T or Ice Cube. I think it was Ice Cube. I think it was the cube, not the T. I think Cube said, of course, if you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. I hope Ice-T, as he's gotten older, has gotten a little sweeter, because sweet tea is better than non-sweet tea. Some people are seeing FFGs. You talking about fair value gaps? Yeah, that's a fancy word for support and resistance.
Where do you check options volume charts? I look at what you're looking at here on the YouTube channel, the Spot Gamma Hero tool. The little green and blue lines to the left there. Look at this. This is extraordinary, dude. This is extraordinary. Silver just got rocked. High volume spike there at 920. I do not recommend front running a bounce. Do not do it. Do not do it. You play the high volume 3Cs or nothing at all. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty. What is the reason I trade ES instead of NASDAQ? I trade both. I trade both depending on the setup. Now, I will say I've kind of switched to mostly NASDAQ, but I still trade ES. Yeah. Show an example of a 3C on silver. Man, this morning was a beautiful 3C. Right here. Extraordinary. Let me delete all this crap. Sorry. Right here. Volume started hitting hard. Oh, I didn't want to do that. There we go. So volume started hitting hard there at, what's 8 o'clock? 7 o'clock Eastern? Central. Price action slowed. Bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick. No 3Cs. We got the first bottom wick 3C. We forgot the first 3C right here. That was your first 3C. Long entry. And what happened after that? They rocketed and used the line as a support. So that's a confirmation. To see the price action use the entry as support is a fantastic confirmation that you're in the right position, and then it followed through, and you ended up getting, I mean, what, almost 2 points on silver, which is extraordinary. If you've ever played silver before, 2 points on silver is like a year's salary. It's incredible. So volume, bottom wick galore, capture the higher high, and you're off to the races, baby. By the way, big green. And then you are off to the races. There's a big old bottom wick, though, by the way. Man, God. Man, I'm going to have to break out the Master P GIF again after that one. Make them say, on that one. Tell me why ain't nothing but a 3C. Tell me that volume doesn't tell you where the market pivots. Tell me. Tell me. Look at this. Look at this. Give me a better system that helps you pinpoint pivots, and I'll be flabbergasted. I'd love to see it, dude. I absolutely love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Starting Tuesday, I believe, I'll be back up to full funded 5 accounts on TPT. And I'll be good to go. Man, gold just got crushed. What is happening to gold and silver? Look at that. Right there. Look at that. 675. What was 675? What was 675? Tell me. Tell me why. Look at that. I mean, that's the easy stuff. That's the low-hanging fruit, people. Like, that's the stuff that that's inexcusable. That's the stuff you get just for clocking in at work. You go through, you plot the levels. That is a scalpable bounce. That right there went from 672 to 726. That is 60 points on NASDAQ just for clocking in. You don't even need to do any analysis. Just play the freaking overnight lows for a quick scalp. And then after that, do you get follow through? That's all you got to do, man. And then, of course, you throw in the 3Cs and you're good to go. Engulfing red. Engulfing red. ES engulfing red. Silver is getting wrecked. I will tell you, hey, warning, Will Robinson. Warning. When silver does this type of move, you cannot front run it. Take it from me.
As much success I've had in the past month, I've had extraordinary success. I have got my PP whacked way more times than I care to know because I've tried to front run this type of move on silver. Silver will continue to do this for far longer than you think it can. Do not front run a bounce on silver on a move like this, even if it comes down to a prior level. You've got to be very delicate with silver. Silver is not your normal stock like or index like ES and NASDAQ. Silver will wreck you if you jump in front of it. So wait for the 3 C's on silver. Be on guard. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you want to do it. I know you want to do it. Don't do it. I'm warning you. Bum, 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 bum. I am warning you. There we go. Little volume coming in. You see that tremendous amount of volume on silver right there? You see that tremendous amount of volume on silver? Now you have your first indication. You have your first C. You don't have second or third C yet. You've only got one. So now I can start to begin my analysis here. I didn't say entry, I said analysis. Now I can begin my analysis. I have volume. What does that tell me? All right, we're probably entering an area of some support. So now I have to wait for confirmation and expect further volume, especially on silver. Silver is going down to Chinatown right now. It's going down to Chinatown right now. Extraordinary volume, extraordinary price action. Of 87.24. Look at that. Absolutely insane price action. Still going. Man, wow. 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 Now down almost 6%, 5.7%. Still going, still going, still going. All right, where's it going? Let's go take a look. Let's look left. 86.2, 86.1 right here. 86.2, something like that. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Incredible. Increíble. 87.14, baby. Silver is an absolute unit. It's a unit. Fed's not good at talking, but Hassett is. Trump is talking about the Fed. Nice. Quick green move there. Getting knocked down. If they fail this, I'd expect more. What's gold doing? Gold's getting wrecked. Big old top wicks there. I'm sorry, top wicks. We have a tremendous amount of volume both on ES and NASDAQ there, but we're talking about a 6% sell-off on silver here on a very inflated product. We've seen 9% green days, 8% green days. You can see 8 or 9% red days too. You can't have one without the other. Look, more volume's coming in. See this volume spike? More volume's coming in here on the NASDAQ, on the silver, I'm sorry, on silver. 6% sell-off on silver here on a very inflated product. We've seen 9% green days, 8% green days. You can see 8 or 9% red days too. You can't have one without the other. Look, more volume's coming in. See this volume spike? More volume's coming in here just chilling. Still can't get a higher high. Still can't get a higher high, baby. Now that that's failed, I'd say lower. I'd say another couple points lower here. So what's NASDAQ doing? NASDAQ is still coming off here. Beautiful. Kind of putting on a constrained wedge. They still have call buying. Silver is still getting wrecked. Top wick galores. I would probably say we're going to come down to 86.5 here. There we go. Still aggressive, high volume selling here. This is a freight train. Freight train. Nothing but red on the 1 minute. Look at that. That is deep, deep, deep institutional selling. Deep, 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 deep. Still going, baby. Still going. Still going. If this candle fails, you're going to see a flusheroni, baby. Just wait. Just wait. Let's go to the 5. 5 shows you nothing. Nothing but selling, baby. How many buy the dips have been massacred today? Tons. Tons and tons and tons of people got absolutely wrecked today. Silver's getting crushed 74. 86.08. And then what's going to happen is that we're going to stroll into the afternoon. We're going to stroll into the afternoon, and people are going to try to start. All right, screw it. I'm just going to short, and then guess what's going to happen to the afternoon? Silver will recover every dollar. NASDAQ and the S&P will recover every dollar. I don't know if that's the case, but that's typically what they like to do. Nicely done, Proggy. Yeah, excellent exit. Silver's still getting top wicked. 86.10 and dumping. Gold, what's gold doing? Gold is absolutely getting crushed. Look at this. Silver, gold, both just absolutely getting demolished. NASDAQ getting demolished. Everything, the whole market is getting absolutely smoked. Smoked. New low of the day for silver. Wow, people. Amazing. Amazing. This is a market-wide sell-off. Market-wide sell-off. They're going to continue. There's been one single green candle on the 1 minute chart on silver in 20 minutes. It's amazing. It is amazing, people. Dun 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 dun. NASDAQ is still getting wrecked. Wow. Let me hear you say, na 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 na. $87, silver, basing at 87. Tremendous amount of volume. Tremendous amount of volume. Can they put on 2 green candles in a row and give us a 3C? Until then, you do nothing. Right now, they can't even put on 2 green candles in a row in the 1 minute. It's just sell, 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 baby. Fly, fly, fly. Opportunity. There's gold in them there hills, or should I say there's silver in them there hills, but you have to be patient. You can either short this or just wait for your 3C. That's it. It looks like they're just filling the gap from too much too fast on 11.11. Probably. VIX is on the rise. I like it. 2.8 billion puts purchased. They are just screaming into puts. Screaming into puts. Itty bitty little bounce is getting just kind of pinned here. So I'm just watching closely. I'm watching closely. I need to show that the buyers are not going to get crushed every attempt. And I may attempt to take a trade on silver, but not until then. Not until then. We need some reactionary flows. All right, that red line is a 3C, 87.13. That is a 3C. Can you get it? Can you get it? Are you man enough and woman enough to take it? Are you man enough or woman enough to take it, to do it? To do what Matt did and provide money for his family. You know what Matt just did today? My boy Matt, who I love. You know what Matt just did? He went out into the jungle. He went out into the western plains, and he hunted that buffalo. He killed that saber-toothed tiger. He clubbed the seal across the face and dragged it back to his cave. That's what he did today. The baby seal, that's right. Now Matt needs to stand out in the open with his shirt open, letting the beautiful winter wind brush across his chest hair. Like Paul Newman. NASDAQ is still getting top week. We're not always this weird if you're new to the YouTube channel. We're having fun. We're having fun. NASDAQ is absolutely getting wrecked. Look at this. 2.9 billion puts purchased. This is algorithmic selling, baby. This is gold and silver affect NASDAQ? Indirectly, yes. Not ratioed with on the price action, but that's one way to phrase it. That's right, Phil. The futures contract is way too big. 5,000 ounces, each dollar is five. Yeah, it's insane, Derek. It's absolutely insane. Thank you for making me wait on silver. You're welcome, Anthony. I'm telling you, patience, baby. Patience. If you are patient, you will chop out 80% of your erroneous losses. How many, like me personally, that is my number one biggest failure anytime I take a trade, is that I'm just 10 minutes too early. If I could just pump the brakes for 10 minutes, my profits will be fine and my losses will be trimmed up. And of course, I still take losses, quite a few, but the dumb losses or even the stressful trades, if I just wait just a little, I'm good. This is like being in Willy Wonka's factory, yeah. Except all the Loompa Loompas are taking trades, baby. The Oompa Loompas are strung out from trading silver at 1 a.m. instead of making chocolate. What do you get when you strung out on silver? Hemorrhoid cream and a wife that hates you. Sorry. I can't think of that stuff on the fly. My bad. All right, what we got? 2.8 billion puts purchased here. 278 million calls purchased. 87.3. Trader Anthem, yeah. If you can get rid of the unforced errors, they'll be way more profitable. Absolutely. Just qualified several prop accounts. Now I have prop account safety net. I like it, Damien. Well done, buddy. Comedy is hard business. It is hard business. It is hard business. My approach to comedy and telling jokes is the same approach that my drill instructor told me a long time ago. If you throw enough crap at the wall, some of it's bound to stick. All right, here we go. Silver. Are you man enough to reach out and take the 3C? Are you man enough to make money? I cut my trades too early, but I was adding into these like a mofo. Nice, Craig. No, I'm not. When did you start with Top Step? I thought you only had. I've had Top Step now for years. I've been trading with Top Step for a long time. I started with TPT back in July, June, something like that. Sometime in the summertime. My intent, I'll be completely honest with you, my intent with Top Step was to completely abandon them, just to be done with them. However, back in late December, they gave me a free reset. I guess they gave everybody a free reset. And honestly, I didn't even know I had it. I just logged in to kind of just clean up and make sure I had no recurring charges. And I was like, hey, I've got to reset. So I just reset an account, started trading it, and here I am 150 grand later. So, you know, I can't really say that it's free money. It's free money. Where did you find the reset? If you go into your billing or accounts or something like that, it'll show you if you got resets in your account. All right, 87. Silver still getting wrecked. Nasdaq is just, man, this is unbelievable. It's hard to believe we're only down 0.3%, but this is unbelievable, baby. 3.17 billion puts. Do not. I mean, we need these puts to come off. There's no way they're going to bounce this market with put buying the way it is. It's just straight down. Coming all the way down, baby. Do you remember Sol from a few years back? He was on Top Step as one of the traders. I thought he was awesome to see him. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I remember him. We talked for a while in text messages, but kind of just broke off communication, I guess. Glad to see he's doing well. 25,600 still dropping. This means the retail traders are selling puts. Who is selling puts into this move? Well, there's always a market for buying. You know, there's always going to be a buyer for a seller and a seller for a buyer. So we're just right now, all this is showing is the institutional flow. So they're just buying up a crap ton of puts. And what this is hedging. This is dynamic hedging in the works right here. Oompa loompa. I'm going to have that song stuck in my head all weekend now. Nasdaq is just getting absolutely demolished. Coming on down into yesterday's pre-market of 560 or so. Right here. Hedging for weekend airstrikes, something like that. IV is way too below to be selling puts. You aren't getting paid to warehouse the risk. Most retail traders don't know how to defend a sold option. That's true. You're exactly right. What do you get when you gobble up stops? Silver's finally putting on the move, baby. Are you man enough to reach out and grab it? Are you man enough to put on the 3C bounce and club that baby seal in the face? Are you man enough or woman enough to grab the 3C? Let's go, baby. Are you behind on your bills? Good. Put down the ICT and pick up the 3Cs. Do you keep blowing up accounts left and right? Good. Put down the EMAs and pick up the 3Cs. Look at this. Look at this. It's like a symphony. It's like a symphony. You got volume, you got bottom licks, and now you've got the trombones and the trumpets coming in, the clarinets on one side. You got the French horn. You got the glockenspiel, and everyone comes together. And up we go. And we have a crescendo of price action beyond the higher high. That's sweeter than Yoo-hoo, people. That is sweeter than Yoo-hoo. Sweeter than Yoo-hoo. At this point, I'm calling this free signal millionaire. Hey, baby, how much else? You tell me. You find me another YouTube channel that can give you this much alpha for free. For free. Let's go, baby. What do I usually trade and how many contracts? Micro, mini. I usually play minis. I don't play much micro. Every now and then I'll throw down some micros in my personal account, my IBKR. But yeah. Today was the first. I've never heard Glockenspiel referred to here before. I don't even know how I thought about that. I don't think I've even said that word since high school band. I was in the high school band, by the way. I had to pick. They made me choose between football and band because I was playing football too. I was a trumpet player. Stupid full week of work. Dude, I was wondering where you were. The too much too fast was was extraordinary this week. If you were drowning and I threw you a life raft, would you take it? I would hope so. If you did make a bunch of money today on this silver signal, which I hope you did, consider come joining the Discord. It's a fantastic resource. We get to hang out. You get to hear words like Glockenspiel. It's great stuff. Is TPT giving out free funded accounts with your code? It is if you pass the eval. So if you use code OMTPT, which is my code, not only do you get 40% off your evaluation, but when you pass the eval, you get a free funded account. Free. So your only cost is the 40% off your eval. So whichever eval you choose, you get 40% off, and that's the only cost you got. And you go out, you get free money. Daily payouts, too. Good stuff. Good stuff. There's my goal. Love the 3 Cs. I like it. What would you consider 3 Cs on silver? I was going with 87.31 here. You could have taken this 87.07. I was going with 87.31 because that is the 5-minute entry. 87.31 was the 5-minute 3C. And look, this little level right here, this red level, that's the opening low right there. So that's what they're using as the pivot, SR flip. So if you want to take it all the way back up to the top, we've got to claim 88.08. So that's where you need to apply your trailing stop to. Or off of, I should say. You were clarinet? Nice, Phil. What platform do I use to trade silver? I use IBKR and Top Step to trade silver. Very much seems like distribution to me. Pump overnight, low volume, sell at higher prices. You're absolutely right, Derek. In fact, a woman that we follow called Linda Raschke. If you don't know Linda Raschke, highly encouraged to learn her teachings. It's funny because in the Discord, both of my trading IOs are both women. So I guess you can call me a feminist, whatever. But Linda Raschke says that if you're looking for a change in trend overall on the macro scale, you need to have consistent morning greens with afternoon reds. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of selling into the afternoons here, which is showing that the dealers are selling into higher prices, which is distributive. Damien Plow. Oh my gosh. Y'all kill me. Y'all kill me. Do 3Cs work on any time frame? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. On any time frame. In fact, I would argue they work even better on swing trades. Do you swap different platforms to trade different stuff? Yeah, like I don't trade silver on TPT anymore because my buffers aren't big enough on TPT yet to trade silver. Silver is just too much. You can make a ton of money on, but if you don't have a buffer, then eventually it's gonna come get its pound of flesh. Is Trading Sardines worth the read? Yeah, I was very impressed with the book. I bought that book just because I love reading. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It was very good. It talked a lot about her life, how she became a trader, how she derived her success and stuff like that, and the struggles that she faced along the way too. Why do you think they don't allow micro silver on TPT? I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to pay for the exchanges. I don't know. OM loves women. Yeah. Nasdaq's putting on some bottom wicks here. We'll see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wish they did because I just locked myself out on TPT of drawdown of a mini. I'm telling you, man, I've warned you. Do not trade silver on TPT. Don't do it. I had 5 funded accounts. Of course, I always have five funded because I'm always passing evals. I blew up 3 of my fundeds trading silver, and I did it in the most aggravating way possible. Like literally, I would put on an entry, and it would go down until it popped my drawdown, and then bounce. And it happened very quickly too. So it's like don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. And then I go back to trading Nasdaq and ES, and I'm like, hey man, I just made a bunch of money. Like why? Like, so I'm telling you, there's a time and place to trade silver. You need to have a big buffer in order to trade silver. All right, take it from me. The Apex rollouts, have they still doing it? I remember they kept texting me saying, hey, 90% off Apex. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. You just got another text from Apex. Did I get one too? I got one a couple of days ago. I haven't got one from them yet. I'll let you know if I get one. It's 85% now. They might as well give them away for free since they don't ever pay out. Yeah. Trust me, it's very attractive, man. The thought that I could put on 40 accounts, all I would need to have is like 2 good months out of the year, and I would absolutely kill it. But I'm not going to sit there and record all my trades with a video. It's just not going to happen. So, do I have any sauce on passing evals quickly? No, in fact, passing evals quickly is exactly why most traders can't make it to funded. They don't want to take the time to pass evals. They just want to put in max position size to pass it in one trade, and then you're going to blow up 50 times, and then you're finally going to pass one, and then you're going to blow they funded up the second you get in it. So it's just, I'm actually in the process of making a prop firm trading video. I think this one could go well, and I'm actually going to hire a professional video editor to edit it, so it's kind of fancy. And I'm going to talk about that stuff. But really, you've got to be patient with prop firms. You've got to. Prop firms are the golden era of trading for a retail trader. If you can be patient and build your army of prop firm accounts, all you need is 2 or 3 good months out of the year, and you could make a killing. You could even just struggle and or just break even for 7 months out of the year, 5, 8 months out of the year, 3 to 4 months out of the year. You could kill it, and that's it. So, I promise you, patience is the best thing you could possibly absorb into your life. Silver's still chilling. Nasdaq, beautiful bounce. What? They got $1 billion in calls, people. They got $1 billion in calls. Look at this. Look at this. This little bowl is amazing. Bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick, volume spike, higher high, 3 C's. I love it. I can't think of anything. I was trying to think of something clever to say after that, but I couldn't. It doesn't always hit me good. Although I haven't been super successful with TPT yet, I have to give it credit. It's teaching me patience. You know, the beautiful thing about TPT is that you can, all prop firms are the case, but TPT is more specifically that you can struggle for a little bit. And all you need is 1 good week with TPT, and you can make it all back and then more. And then more. With the daily payouts, you don't have to wait when you are successful. You take the money out right then. I've had days where I've made 10 grand in a single account. Boom. Not only does it, it pays for all plus obviously way more than my eval cost for that account. Just got to get past the trailing drawdown at first. Yep. It's extraordinary. And then, of course, you pile every single dollar into your brokerage account, and then wham bam, you've got a funded personal account. Like, this is the end goal to all of this. The end goal to all of this is funding your personal brokerage account. That's it. Learn how to trade with prop firms, hoard the cash into a personal broker, and then now that you've learned how to trade, you apply that into your personal brokerage account. There you go. I just gave you the recipe for funding yourself. Don't go buy stupid cars. Don't go buy idiotic Ferrari. Unless you've got $2 or $3 million, you have no business buying a fancy car. Invest in your future by putting the money in a brokerage account and using that to grow. How do these prop firms like TPT stay financially solvent? You underestimate how much money they're getting from evals. You underestimate it. I love it, McGabagool. I just saw it. All right, a little bit of bounce here. A little bit of bounce. They have 1.1 billion of calls purchased. You see this? I'm telling you, I would not be surprised to put a face-ripping recovery on this price action today. I would not be surprised to see them take out the high of the day. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. It may be worth putting on an SPY call that's $3 out of the money. It's very cheap right now. What's an SPY call for 694 going for? 695. Let's go take a look. Hold on. I've got my IBKR open. Let's take a look. A 0 DTE 694 call right now is going for 20 cents. Put on a couple just to see. Just in case they do the crazy OPEC shenanigans where they rocket ship. It's 20 cents. If I have a 10K trading account, would it still make sense to do an eval? If you have $10,000 in a trading account, my stance on prop firms has changed in the past 3 years. I've become very much pro prop accounts because I love diversification. I love multiple sources of income, and the risk is not there. So if I can, my biggest risk on a prop firm is whatever I pay for the eval, $80, $100, whatever it is, and all I need is one payout on a month to pay for it all. So why not? I mean, I can, like this month, for example, I'm going to pull out over 6 figures this month, as long as I don't blow up my current TS account. So I encourage it because I sit here, I've got my laptop open, which y'all can't see, and I trade my IBKR off that. So I'm taking trades on my personal. I've got trades on 2 different props. And of course I can balance that out where normally it's very rare for me to have a red day on all 3. Sometimes it happens. Most of the time I'm green on at least one of those accounts, if not all 3. So fine, you talked me into it. All I'm saying is that you have to be smart. By the way, 3Cs are beautiful here on NASDAQ. We're just extending. You just have to be smart with prop firms. Don't be the jabroni that resets, and makes them rich. So just, be smart. The reason why prop firms put good traders in the live accounts is because they want the traders to make money for the prop firm. Yep. Just curious why you decided to post P&Ls. I remember back in the day you were against that. I am against it, honestly. Every now and then I have to post results, just to, I guess, show that my system works. And I think the fact that I've made $178,000 in 30 days shows that my results work, and it's good for business. I'll be honest with you, it's good for business. It's good, it helps the 3Cs grow. Now, I'm not blasting it in the Discord. I want to keep that crap out of the Discord, but I'll post it on the socials. Today I've made a considerable amount of money. I'm not sure everybody understands or appreciates the value what you're doing here and the things that you're saying. Both of us do that, but for those of us that do, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Spiffy Trades. Appreciate you. What are the 3Cs? 3Cs are my trading system. Is my trading system.
It stands for 3 criteria. There's a YouTube video about it on the YouTube channel. I'd encourage you to go take a look at it. I'll post the link here in the chat. So you don't use TradeSync or any copy trading platform. You just individually put on trades. Most of the time, yes, I do copy trade every now and then on in Quantower. I use Quantower's copy trader, and it's god awful. It's terrible. So every now and then I'll put on a copy trade, but I don't copy trade all the time. In fact, I don't recommend exclusively copy trading. You know, you have to learn when to turn that thing on and when to turn it off. So I you know when to do that. Why not have a channel for profits? Because I don't want to bring profits into the Discord. It's bad for business. Like, people come into the server to learn. And in addition to learning the system, I try to teach people to handle their emotions. And if they come into the server in the morning and they see just profits being blasted, of course nobody's going to show their losses. So they're only going to see just blasting profits. And they're going to FOMO, they're going to get pissed, they're going to leave the server. They're going to blow up their own accounts. So it's just, I think I'd rather have a conversation in the Discord. And if you want to go see the profits, go on Twitter, go on YouTube or whatever. But here, I want to maintain a fun learning atmosphere without the internet crap. I already had to get one guy out because he wouldn't stop posting his stupid profits all the time. So it's just I like this better. All right, NASDAQ is flat here. Silver is just freaking rocketing, baby. What did I tell you? What did I freaking tell you, man? I love it. You see it? You see how things turn into a bowl? That bowl setup. I don't know what to call that. The bowl look where it starts to round. Do you see this little roundy, this little hook, fishing hook, and then the volume, and then you get the 3C. Like this right here is what I love to see. This is where I sit up in my chair when I start to see this little check up, and then they start to claim higher highs. Man, that's money in the bank. That is exactly right now. You know what my win rate is on Top Step alone? Just my Top Step. My win rate for the entire month of January is 81.67%. 67 plus, of course, the profits. And it's because I just wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait until I see that exact setup right there. And that's it. And statistically, 19% of the time I'm wrong, 81% of the time I'm right, and that's all I got to do. No fancy lines, no fancy algorithms, just waiting for a volume with a bounce or a volume with a rejection. You couldn't resist the 6-7. I couldn't. I'm glad that's dying, though, Doctor. What time frame is that? I analyze volume on the 1 minute, and I confirm on the 5 and 15. Gold SR flip. Let's take a look. Gold SR flip. Gold has an SR right there. That's your SR test. If they take it out, that's your target to go long 46.25. If they fail it, then the bulls are going to be in trouble. What time frame is that? 100% in too early. All right. You're going to make me get out the book, Alec. You're going to make me get out the book. Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. Chapter 4. Funth. What do we got? You're going to make me get out the book. Chapter 4. VPA Principles. Principle number 2 is called patience. This principle, this is Anna Colling's words, not mine. Professional trader right here. This principle took me some time to learn, so I hope I can save you a huge amount of wasted effort here.
The financial market is like a super tanker. It does not just stop and turn at a dime or a sixpence. I don't know what a sixpence is, but it sounds like something you eat while you're you have while you're eating beans and beans on toast. The market always has momentum. It will always almost continue beyond the candle or candle pattern, which is signaling a potential reversal or anomaly. When I first started, I always became very excited whenever I saw a trading signal, and I would enter a position immediately only to see the market continue on for a while before the signal was validated with market duly changing course. All that to say is if she just waited 5 minutes, she would have been fine. That's my problem. It sounds like that's your problem. Why not just wait 5 minutes? By the way, gold is freaking rocketing. And I'm sure silver is too, with the 3 C's. There you go. Were you man enough or woman enough to take that trade? There you go. I pay 6 pence for my tea and crumpets. There you go. Thank you for reading that. I'm really going to finish the book. Yeah, it's a fantastic book, man. Chapters 4 through 8, 4 through 9, bread and butter. You got to read them. Got to read it. Anna Coling. We have an SR flip here on NASDAQ. If you see it, this is prior session lows is now a resistance. So first step along the bull path here is that the buyers have got to reclaim this level. If they do, then we'll target the 50%. If they take out the 50%, chances become pretty high. We recapture high of the day. But first goal, first things first, we got to recapture this red line. So far, the 3C play of the day is freaking silver. It's freaking silver. It's freaking silver. You're so right. Usually just waiting a few minutes is all you need. I remember you mentioned her years ago. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. Look at that. There goes NASDAQ. Stop for 60 points on silver. That's beautiful, Logan. Amazing stuff. Can we Monday morning quarterback the 3C on NASDAQ? There was no volume on the 1 minute at 10:42, only on the 5. Would you enter on the 3 bottom wicks? Okay, let's take a look. You're right. We didn't get any volume on the 1. So that tells me if there's going to be volume, it's going to be on the collective, which is a Cinco. So we do have a volume spike on the 5. So that tells me that we had 5 medium high average candles on the 1 minute, which collectively results in a high volume spike on the 5. So the 1 minute high volume spike, we certainly have an aggressive buyer's wick. We have even a follow-on aggressive buyer's wick. And then we have the breach of the higher high at 25,634, which is right there. We break, they claim. That's all she wrote. And so far, 100 point pounds. So, yeah, the 5 minute would give you an awesome confirmation there. The 1 minute wasn't as clear. That's okay. Switch back and forth. By the way, look at the calls. They have been buying calls the entire morning, even during the sell-off. Never once were they in sold call territory here. So, very interesting. Very interesting. It's worth 20 cents, baby. You'd already be up 50% right now if you took those positions. You asked us if we were man enough to take the 3Cs, but were you? I was man enough today. I was man enough today. Do I still use Gex? Do I use Gex? You know, the Gex to me is kind of like the 30,000 plus rounds of ammunition I have in my closet. Like I've got it, but I don't use it. Every now and then I'll take a look at it. Every now and then I'll get it out and just kind of look at it, but I don't use it every day. I bought SPX calls when you set up 50, so there you go. Nice meaningless. NASDAQ is 25,690. Took profit on that bounce. Might be perfect time to close the laptop and hit the gym. Hey, it's always a good time to hit the gym, baby. Always a good time. Someone help me try to understand how to place orders in IBKR. I'm trying to learn it. I've got a video about that too. Here. I'll get you the link to that. Mandrew, what's up? Do you trade live every day on Discord? Because you the man. Nice now. Yes, I do trade every day live on Discord. Every day. I think I've only missed like one day in the past 5 years that wasn't scheduled. No, actually, I don't know. Do you have 30? That's low too, Craig. That's low. If you're counting my 22 ammunition, I've got way more than 30,000 total. I've got tens of thousands of 22 ammunition. It's too easy. 22 is a perfect survival round. It's cheap. You can buy 5,000 rounds of high quality 22 right now for like $350. It's cheap. You could still defend yourself with it. You can still kill wild game with it. You could go plink with it. You could teach your kids to shoot. You could practice target shooting, everything. 22 is fantastic. So every now and then I'll go buy 5,000 rounds and I'll just stockpile it. If you're a good enough shot, you could still kill a deer with it. You know, it's not going to be as fun, but you can make it happen in a survival situation. How much would 5,000 rounds cost? For 22, you can right now, I mean, you could get it as low as like 250, but you'll get a lower grain, crappier bullet. You could pay as high as 400, 500, and you can get you high quality ammunition, like the best ammunition you can get. $600, you can get you 5,000 rounds of like match grade 22, which is the best of the best. But I don't need match grade. I'm not shooting competitions. Best 22 pistol Browning. Yeah, I've looked at a couple of different ones. The Kel-Tec is a pretty good 22 caliber, even though that's 22 mag. I don't like 22 pistols. 22 mag pistols are great. I don't like 22 long rifle because they haven't performed well for me in the past. CCI Mini is good, yeah. Way cheaper than 7.62, yeah. Cool, I'm joining your Discord. Nice Snaptown. Appreciate you, buddy. Look forward to seeing you there. Silver's coming back down. Taking some D-ball. Spiel. Any suggestion for a hog round? I think Dan's got an answer for that one, baby. 223, 556, either one. AR-15 is I think arguably one of the best rounds for or the best rifles for hog shooting, hog hunting. Do you use the 22 ARC ammunition? I don't. This is your SR flip. ES has already taken out half the range. Half the range. Can it capture and take out high of the day? That's your question. We have almost $2 billion in calls purchased. There's a decent chance they're taking out the whole range. There's a decent chance we're taking out the whole range. I did that once in my 20s. The results are way too fast. Everyone that knew me was like W2F. Yeah. Happened to me. Happened to me. I came home after like 4 months of not seeing my mom when I was at college. Nearly immediately, she took me to the hospital to get tested. It was egregious. The results were egregious. My body responds well to steroids. It responded very well. 22 upper on AR is a fun training only. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. See, I know that, what? Smith & Wesson makes a nice 22 AR. Pretty fun to shoot. Right here. New rule, let a win be a win. Don't try to jump back in for more profit without good confirmation. Still green on the day. Lock it up. Did you tailor curls for the girls? Man, I don't know what they were at the time, but dude, curls were for everything at that point. S&P has kind of gone stagnant here. They're still buying calls. If S&P closes this SR flip, I mean, it's the chances of going to 7,000 are high if it closes this level. So just be ready. And then they're going to short squeeze people who try to chase the shorts at the bottom. Let's go. Silver right now is I haven't retouched silver. I touched silver on the bounce, but that's it. I haven't touched anything else there. Oh man. Silver there again. I've noticed the first touch of 3C will reject a higher percentage of the time. It occurred to me yesterday when I'm seeing might be traders taking a slightly similar setup, buying into the high volume candle, then having their take profit orders at the stop of the candle. This will lead to passive sellers overwhelming the aggressive buyers. And no, I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. I mean, we're not the only one that trade off volume. There's a bunch of people out there that trade off volume, including high-level traders. So they're going to smoke it, and that's why, man, the market can shake out the people who are impatient, but if you can pump the brakes, there's very little they can do to get you out of your position. On a bounce play, when they're going to bounce it, there's only so much they can do to manipulate the charts as long as you're position size appropriately and you're patient enough. Just wait, pump the brakes, put on a position, and there you go. How's everybody else doing on YouTube? What are you doing? What are you doing? Silver's about to climb, baby. There it goes. Silver's still going, baby. Yeah. NASDAQ is breaking out again. ES is starting to climb, recapturing levels. I'm warning you. There's a good chance we recapture high of the day. I told you 694 calls were trading at 20 cents a piece. They are now trading at 38 cents a piece. That is nearly a 100% claim already. And if this thing goes to 700, that's going to be a 500%er. If S&P reclaims 7,000 and the S&P goes back up, this is going to be a 500%er.
It's very difficult to call complete V reversals like that, but today's one of those days where conditions support it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying conditions support it today more than ever. We have a tremendous amount of call buying, 2.2 billion in calls purchased. Today's the day to put on an outlier, cheap, just lotto play. So, your feedback is so helpful. Save my butt from getting into bad trades. I love it. Appreciate you. What was the setup today? Just curious. I love hearing success stories. Kids keep talking about 6-7. Wait until you hear about 9 to 5. I love it. While that new rule on Top Step's annoying, I don't think it's really that bad, since the goal should have to more money in your account since the last payout. I guess the problem arises if you completed 5 days of the 150. Somewhere in there is a big enough loss that the outweighs the 750 you made. I guess my gripe is to keep modifying the rules. Yeah, 100%. And I think those rules should be, you should be grandfathered in and maintain previous rules until the account fails and stuff like that. And as well, I think it's unreasonable to ask traders to be profitable week over week forever. There's got to be times where you're just going to get wrecked, and because you're going to have one bad week, and that pretty much cans the account. What's the point of having a funded account at that point if you can't pull money out? So it just unfortunately it maintains my churn and burn status on prop firms. I have no desire to grow a balance on funded accounts beyond what I absolutely have to, because what's the point? I just churn and burn them. Now in TPT, that's different because you can pull out as much as you want. So yeah. Supreme Court may issue a ruling on Tuesday the 20th. Really? Look at this. They are absolutely hammering the calls, people. Interesting. Now, there's still $2 billion worth of puts on the books, but they have sold off $1.5 billion. So that's what I'm seeing here. What's silver doing? Silver's still chilling. Silver had a little flash dip there and then BTW. Relatively speaking, the S&P is higher than NASDAQ. NASDAQ has not captured their 50 yet. ES has. So. TD Securities has closed their short position. They only suffered $600,000 worth of losses. How is that possible? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. They shorted silver at 78. They stopped out at 92.5, and they only lost 600,000 on that kind of position size. That doesn't make sense. They must have hedged or something. Look at that monster.
Look at that monster. Silver just popped. NASDAQ is doing that. ES is doing that. Good. Told y'all banks will never fail. No. Nah. Nah. From your perspective, what makes the 50% more important? Pattern. Pattern. It's the only thing that I'm considering adding to my chart at the moment, to my official analysis, is the 50%. And it's been going on now for a few months, but it's very hard for me to add that to my chart because it's not volume based and it's not necessarily price action based. It's pattern based, which patterns do work. Patterns absolutely have their place in the markets because the market likes to repeat patterns. But it's really just a pattern, and I couldn't explain the why or rhymes or reason to it. But yeah, you said you made 178,000 this year. Is that all? Not this year. Well, I guess this year, yeah, 2026. 30 days, the past 30 days. That dollar amount is all prop firms. I've made more, but that's in my personal brokerage account. But that 178 is purely props. It's actually up to 182 now after today's payout, today's top step or TPT payout, and then I'll get another. Yeah, so there you go. What's the 50? The 50 is called the 50% Fibonacci. It's a 50% of the range. So like right now, for example, if you pull the 50% Fibonacci, the 50% range is right here at 6981, which is also the overnight pivot, the overnight low. And we just claimed it. And now the S&P is about to put on a 7,000 attack. But look at the options. You see this right here? You see this right here, this little this indicator? 1.98 billion of calls purchased. This line is straight up, which means they're hammering the calls. And they're starting to sell puts. The blue line going up is they're selling off puts. So the option chain is trending towards bullish. And then I think what's going to happen here, they're going to absorb this 50, and we're going to have a quick move to 7,000. That's what it looks like. 178,000. What percentage wise to your portfolio? My IBKR portfolio. I won't say, but it's smaller than my personal brokerage. So thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. So what does claiming it mean? And you're charting by plotting the overnight highs and lows. Yeah, I'm charting it by plotting not the overnight, but the current session high and low. 7,002 to 6960. So I'm plotting the high, I'm plotting the low. 50% of that range is 6981.5 on the S&P. They claimed it, meaning they closed a candle over it. Every time I hear claiming it, you need to close over it, not just tap it, but give a little close over it. And now they've held it. And now we've got 13 more points until we claim high of the day. So there's a pretty dang good chance. I mean, look at the calls; they just went to 2 billion. There's a pretty good chance we now claim high of the day. So just you're going to have a pretty quick one of the. They're going to absorb it, and you're going to see blip. You're going to see one of these greens right here, except it's going to be right here. There you go. NASDAQ's going. ES is going. There it goes. ES, NASDAQ, 6990. They're going to try climbing. Do you trade while you're live here? I do. How do you focus on reading comments? I've gotten pretty good at multitasking. Plus, I'm an Air Force pilot, so multitasking is part of the job. part of the job. There we go. Another bottom wick on gold and silver here. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to keep an eye on that thing. There goes ES and NASDAQ, baby. High of the day is coming along. 10 more points, and we have high of the day for ES. 10 more points, and we have high of the day. Look at the weekend sale of all the like buttons here. I love it. I love it. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on that YouTube channel. I like it. $2.03 billion calls purchased. They are buying a lot of calls here on the S&P. A lot of calls. Gold's putting on a top tick here. Silver's putting on a small top tick. What can they do? We have this little consolidation range on silver. Like I said, I've already taken my trade on this, so I'm not necessarily looking for a lot here. But where's my box? You've got this high range that they're consolidating in. We've already tapped it once. We tapped it. We tapped it here. Came up, tapped it, retraced, came back up, and now they're consolidating in this block. So if they take this block out, I would probably look for 87.5. If they hold it, then we'll revisit. But yeah, right now they're breaking down heavily. How often do I live stream and trade on what days? I live stream every single day. I live stream free to the YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then it's locked for the Discord every Tuesday and Thursday. $2.2 billion calls. We see a lot of psychology on emotions, beliefs, and such, but I don't really find anything on the psychology of money. What mindset would you say you have when it comes to money? I read a fantastic book a long time ago called The Power of Money. It's extraordinary. I highly encourage everyone to read it. I highly encourage you to have your kids read it. And basically what it is that our concept of money has to do with how we want people to view us. Everything comes down to how we want people to view us. For the average person, I should say. And a good example they use is that if you're fantasizing about buying a nice car, let's say a Ferrari, you don't actually want the car. You crave the feeling of people seeing you in the car. So you pull up to a stoplight, you want to be seen in the Ferrari. But what you don't realize is that in the book they talk about this. You don't realize is that the people aren't looking at you saying, "Oh, look how cool he looks in that Ferrari." They're saying, "Hey, that guy's a schmuck because it's not mine. I want that Ferrari, so screw that guy. You're an idiot." So they don't care about you. They care about them not being in the car. So it's all just a game here, a rat race of who can have the nicest toys, so everyone else can see us in the toys. And if you can break that, you can kind of release your stranglehold that money has all over you. Think about all the crap that we want to buy. The toys, the crap. Do you actually need any of it? And I guarantee you, as somebody who's come from absolutely nothing and has, I wouldn't say I'm rich, but I'm doing well for myself. Money doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you freedom, but there are still plenty of other stuff that can make you unhappy. Your physical health, if you're sick, if you've got some sort of illness, if you have a bad family life, if your kids hate you, if your wife hates you, if you're a terrible person, if all that. There's plenty that can destroy your life. So it's not about the money. The money doesn't make you happy. It just buys you some extra options. It buys you freedom. It buys you the ability to make choices that some other people may not be able to make. Not to mention there's a spiritual aspect to that too. I have a spiritual view about money, and God is not going to bless you with much if you can't do anything with little. If you live in America, you're still wealthier than 90% of the world, even if you make minimum wage. So, why would you be blessed with a lot if you can't do anything with the little bit that you've got? $2 billion in calls purchased, 1.9 billion in puts sold. The abundance mindset. The abundance mindset is huge. You have to go into it being grateful that you have an abundance of stuff. You have air in your lungs. You've got a roof over your head. You don't live in a dirt shack in the middle of Africa. I've spent a lot of time in Africa. It's not the greatest place, and we're blessed to be in America. There it goes silver. S&P is about to go high too. How do you know I'm not in a dirt shack? Because you're a go-getter, Magabagouli. That's how I know. What if you generally love Ferraris? That's okay. It is, Phil. Yeah. If you generally love Ferraris, then cool. Go buy yourself a Ferrari. Of course, there's money management there. You have no business buying a Ferrari if you can't pay double cash with it and still afford it. If you have enough money to buy 2 Ferraris in cash, then and still have enough money left over, then yeah, cool. You might be rich enough to buy a Ferrari. But nobody has any business at financing Ferraris or spending your entire life savings on one. But I'm not a car guy. I'm personally not a car guy. I'm a land guy. Hey, look at silver. I won't buy a Staccato because I don't have 70 Gs. There you go. ES is still chilling. ES has a couple more points before hitting new highs. NASDAQ has bounced aggressively. I'll have to give it a reread because it doesn't look like click the first time. Yep. How does TopStep's daily payouts work? TopStep does not have daily payouts. At least not that I know of. Apparently I don't know the rules that well. One of my friends owns an F40. It's a great car. Nice. Do I need to have 30 winning days in one of my XFA? I think once you get live, you have to have 30 winning days, and then you can start pulling all your money out from what I've read. But who knows? RTY, look at RTY. I was already taken high of the day and going. ES needs 10 more points and it's there. 2.03 billion in calls. It's crazy stuff. I have to mute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm slowly wanting to involve, I'm slowly evolving to wanting a Range Rover. I've heard terrible things about Range Rovers. Don't do it. Don't do it. I would love to get a Cybertruck. I'm not a EV guy, but I would love to get a Cybertruck. I would wrap it in army green. Multicam black would be great. Yeah. My car is a testimony to my achievements from nothing to working a great job and having a fantastic family and the only toy I have today. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Any questions from anyone? Anyone first time here on the YouTube today? Who's my first timers? Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? That is exactly what I would do with it. Childish. That is exactly what I would do with it. And I would put a fake minigun on top like that, just to blow people's heads. And I would drive around the most liberal parts of my state. And I would watch for pictures of my car to show up on Reddit. Just because I like doing that stuff. My car is a reflection of how little I care about them. 17 years old and scratched up terribly. I have a 2018 Toyota Tundra. I bought it straight off the lot. Obviously, it's paid off. I have 103,000 miles on it. And I checked my my oil change logs in 2023. I had 87,000 miles on it. So in 3 years now, I've put 20,000 miles on it. I don't drive that much. The missus works from home. I work from home. I don't like to go anywhere. 69.93. The S&P is about to claim new highs. It's about to claim new highs. I'm thinking about selling my expensive Bronco and getting an older truck from the Midwest. I think it's a fantastic idea. What? Hey. It's a fantastic idea. How old are you, Alec? I assume, I don't want to, no offense, I don't know, I'm not assuming, but you have a payment on it. Get rid of the stupid payment. Buy yourself a cheap car. Cars are stupid if you don't have the means to buy nice ones. 2.7 billion calls purchased. They are hammering this thing. It's extraordinary. Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are my two favorite pickup trucks. I love my Tundra. Love it. Love it. I pay like $800 a month. I love it, but it's stupid. Yeah, I would definitely get rid of it. You could put $800 a month into the S&P and just accumulate shares. $800 a month, I would say, what, 5 years, 72 months? $800 times 12 times 5. That's, hold on. Wish I could do math. That's $48,000 in 5 years. What's the price of the S&P? $693.30 right now? Let's call it $694. That's 70 shares of the S&P. 70 shares of the S&P. Or anything else for that matter. You could do TRTX. TRTX, by the way, is one of my fantastic investments that I've ever made in my life. I have a very low dollar cost average on TRTX. It's now sitting at $9.15. The last dividend paid 24 cents a share. You find me another stock that's $9 a stock price and gives you $24 per share in dividend. 24 cents, per share in dividends. Every 3 months I get a check for dividend payment for TRTX while holding for years now a very low dollar cost average on TRTX. And eventually, if TRTX goes back to pre-corona levels of 22, I'm going to make so much money on this trade. It's ridiculous. So you could be putting money into TRTX or any other real estate or REIT, real estate investment trust for that matter, instead of putting into a stupid Bronco, which, by the way, Fords have aluminum frames. So you're basically driving around an aluminum can. ES is top wicked. By the way, if you took the 694 calls for 20 cents, they're now trading at 43 cents. You're welcome, Alec. The issue is I don't have a job anymore, so I can't get another car loan if I wanted. Worried I'll get stuck with a beater, but I guess it's worth the risk. Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, admittedly, when I was younger, you can go buy a $3,000 beater and it'll last you at least a year. Now it's hard to find a $3,000 beater. So I mean, yeah. I started buying TRTX about a year ago when you mentioned them. Nice. How's it going for you? Silver got wrecked. Silver getting big time wrecked. Smoke-a-roni. Gold and silver. 45.91.8. Nasdaq is still chilling up here at 25,738 right here. Love it, man. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Nasdaq's already bouncing back up. ES is already bouncing back up. If they take this little sell, this is it. It's going to go to the highs. It's going to go to the highs, baby. Right here. 6982.7. $69.94 and going. I love it. I love it. See if it can take it. Let's see if it can take it. 69.95 will claim it, and that'll rotate back up. Oh, man. Were you a pilot? If so, what frames? Yes, I was a military pilot. I was a pilot in the Air Force for many, many years. So I retired off of the MQ-9 Reaper. Which was an extraordinary career. Absolutely, I saw some very cool stuff, did some very cool things, met some very cool people. Do I see the NASDAQ rolling back over? The call options right now are supporting a move back up to high of the day. But it does look a little toppy at the moment. All right. Remove the 30-day rule. Let's see. What does it say? Move to live after 5 payouts and approval from our risk team. Earn payouts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Pay yourself 50% of your balance or up to $5,000 per payout, whichever one is smaller. Hit 30 total live funding trading needed to unlock full access to your live capital uncapped daily payouts. That's what I mean, though. It says you could pull out your live capital, not your express capital. So from what I've been told and from what I'm seeing, that the $150,000 I've made is pointless. Even though everyone's telling me that you could still take out half. I'm like, yes, that's what it used to be done. That's what I've done before. But that's not what they're telling me anymore. They're telling me that basically the express money is locked, and you only pull out the money you make on the live. But we'll see. Like I said. We'll see. Chinese retailers are selling silver for $120 an ounce. NASDAQ, a little bit of rollover there. ES, a little bit of a rollover there. That was a 10-point drop. Days like today, it shows volume is so key. There's no way I thought we'd go risk on over a 3-day spending war weekend. 100%, man. That's a beautiful bounce right there. That was a 40-point bounce, 30-point bounce. Nearly got back up to high of the day, and we have a little top tick. Not to say we won't go back up, but yeah. From there, you can access it all. Good. Well, then I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till I go live. I'm not going to run it up to as much as I can. I'm going to get the 300 done. I'm pulling every dime of it out. I'm pulling it all out. Have I ever flown a chopper? Negative. Negative. I like living. No thanks. I choose life. All right, nice little sell-off here. Dropping. Days like, yeah, I already read that. There we go. All right, what time is it? It is, holy crap, it's already almost 11 o'clock. Y'all kept me on here for a long time. I was having fun watching that rally. Please repeat what plane you flew. I flew the MQ-9 Reaper. MQ-9 Reaper. Look at that. NASDAQ just hammered it. Daily payouts and live account. Once a live fund. See, I've read all this stuff, though. I've read all of it. Only traders with a live fund account can request daily payouts access to 100% of their balance. Yep. That means for future payouts and live funded, you can request with 100% of your balance with each payout. Request payouts requested once a day. For 100% payout, a funded trader request to voluntarily close it down. Yep. Just got to hit 30 days. I will do it. I will do it. I'm going to hit 30 days in live, and then I'll pull every freaking dime out. Then I'm going to put it to a 0 DTE YOLO, and I'm going to YOLO it live on stream. Let's do it, baby. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. If it hit, though, I'd be a legend. I'd be a legend. And multiply it. Oh, man. Hey, guess where it bounced? The SR flip. Surprise, surprise. Then buy back into several top step accounts. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Do it. Live stream. Remove taxes first, though. Yeah. Tell me about it. Single-handedly take down one prop. If this was 5 different accounts, I might, put a big old dent in it. But this is only one account. But even still, they won't let you bring in more than 150 grand into a live. So if I had 5 150 accounts and I ran these up 150 each, they would only bring me in 150. So it doesn't matter. Gold and silver getting clobbered. Can't hold nothing. Getting clobbered. ES. Yeah, they put on a little bounce. ES and NASDAQ put on a little bounce. $69.85. We'll see if they can hold it. This will be game changer for the afternoon. Of course, we're getting into the afternoon hours here. They can't really get too much below the 50. If they take out this like 69.82 and start extending, it's going to be very difficult to get back up. So they need to hold this if we want our recovery play to play into the afternoon here. They need it. So disabled funded accounts count towards your 5 accounts. No, they do not. Exactly, Twizzy. I love it. All right, I'm going to call it a day. I think it's been a pretty successful morning. I've had a pretty dang good day. So, pretty dang good day. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Throw me a DM. Come join the Discord if you're on the YouTube. It's even better than the YouTube. Get to have a lot of fun, meet a lot of cool people, make some friends, learn a lot. Remember, markets are closed Monday, so we won't be streaming, obviously. I guess I could sit here and ramble on a couple of dad jokes for an hour, but I don't think y'all want to hear that. So I will see you all bright and early Tuesday morning for another fantastic day. Be safe. Let's see if the S&P can claim high of the day. That would be nice. Other than that, I'll see you Tuesday. I'm out. See you.